If you're looking to level up your photos and videos, this item I'll be talking about today might make more of an impact than buying a new camera. Now I'm talking about this, the Amaran a25x. Now just a full disclosure, Amaran did not send me any money to make this, nor did they send me this light. I paid full price for this light. Let's open this thing up. All right, so the Amaran 25X is a video light. As we open the box, we get two nice little stickers right here with Amaran, an instruction manual, and finally we have the light itself right here, which is wrapped in a bag. And I just ripped that paper, and it comes off like that. All right, so right here we have the light, and then it also comes with something else, which is this, the diffuser. So you can pop that on the light. I didn't look under this, which there is extra stuff under here. So right here, you have a USB-C to USB-C cable and a wrench. That's nice to see that they're actually providing cables in the box, unlike many other companies who don't do that nowadays. Under here we have a Amaran Ace Lock 2 shoe, so let's take that out. And we get some stuff that you should not eat. Opening this up, we get this thing right here is this shoe adapter, which goes on the bottom of the light by hitting this button and snapping it in there. Enough of me talking, let's actually see what this light is like. That really lights up my face. And my key light is at 100% brightness. My lens is at f1.05 with an ND on it, so there'd probably be like f1.4 without, and 1/60th of a shutter, and ISO 100 or 125, and I'm overexposed. And when I turn this thing on near my face starts clipping, and it doesn't stop clipping until I hold it away out of sight from the camera. Now I bet if I were to turn this off and go up to this light, my face starts clipping. But this light is actually about the same power as my main key light here, which has 3 LED bulbs. Now, it's not the same amount of power for sure, but it is up there in power. So now I'm using the Amaran 25X as my main light source right there, and it's basically the same brightness as I had when I was using my larger light. You may notice in that camera right there, you can see the back of that light. It is being illuminated by the light I was using earlier as a key light, but 99% of the light on my face is coming from that light. I'll give you proof by turning off the light with the app on my phone. So you can change the color temperature of the light, so I can make it warmer or make it a bit cooler. My camera's set to 5600 Kelvin. All right, so I'm going to turn off my light right here with the app. I can slide the brightness all the way down, and now it's off. And there's barely any light hitting me except for around my ear right here. There's little to no ambient light, and my camera's a good length away from me. So as you can see, this light is actually very powerful for its price and its size. And of course, if you get it closer to your face, since mine's a good distance away, you can get even better light quality out of this. So now I'm going to move on to the second part of this video, which is why this is probably a better purchase decision than a new camera or a new lens. I'm going to be using the Nikon D50-100 with just the standard $30 kit lens and using this light, and it probably won't look too bad. So if you have good enough lighting, you can make really great images from a phone or a really old camera in this case. Now I'm going to change up the lighting a bit. You know, this light is just going at my face and it looks kind of flat. My face looks more flat. So if we move the light off to an angle, we can get a lot more depth in the image, so to say. So one of the best parts about this light is that you can just move it around anywhere because it's battery powered, and it has a fan in it so it won't overheat, and it's not that hot to the touch, which is even better. All right, so I set it off to the side right there. I need to adjust my camera, but you can see my face has a bit more depth. If we move it off to the side even more, you get a dramatic shadow on the side right there. Up a bit and you get some pretty nice lighting. This is called Rembrandt lighting right here, because that's what he did in his paintings or something like that. And you get this nice shadow on the edge of the face. And if you add in a fill light, I just have this camping light. Doesn't really work that well, but if you fill the shadow in, it looks pretty nice. So now I'm joining you with my house lights on and no real lights. Now the setup is very good for using house lights. I kind of designed it so that there would be a house light near my face, but you can see the shadows it's casting aren't that great, and it just doesn't look that great because it's lighting up the background, so it's not that much separation between the face and the background. Right now this light is off, however if I turn it on, you can see that it's overpowering the light up there by a lot. My face is completely blown out on the exposure. But you can really see that this light is a lot more powerful than my light up here. You can't move your lights in your house around, but you may see that the shadows are kind of harsh and like the lines in my face are really prominent, but that's because it's what we call a hard light source in filmmaking. Now there is a diffuser on here which is removable. However, that doesn't really do too much to diffusing the light as it's still small. Now there is one solution to this, which is bouncing the light off of a wall. You can see the light is facing away from the camera, and now look at how much better that light looks. So now let's go over the specs and just the overall handling and use of this light. So first of all, you'll notice on the back of this light there is a fan. Some lights that don't have fans have to turn their intensities down after a while of shooting because it overheats. Now this one, since it has the built-in fan, it can maintain the same temperature for quite a while without overheating. That is just a really good feature, and I feel like more lights should include fans. For the UI, we have one dial right here, which is also a button. So you can scroll through the menus right here, click to change something, and then move around. And then the back button is on the side right here, which is, it's not too intuitive when you pick it up. However, you'll get used to it after not that long of shooting. On the side here, we have an on and off switch. There's also a USB-C port on the side, and then a large fan grill, and then another large fan grill on the top, and then a fan intake on the back. There's fan grills all over this thing except for the bottom and parts of the back, and of course the front where the actual light panel is. Now there's a bump here on the back which features some magnets, and I'm assuming that's where the battery is. So I can just stick it on this metal pole in my wall and it'll just stay there. That's actually a really nice feature, because if you want to have some light in the background of a scene that has a metal wall or some metal in it, you can just stick this onto the metal surface and then turn it on, and you don't have to set up any light stands, which that can take a long time to do on film sets. It's also just another thing that you don't have to carry. On top of this, we have the standard tripod screw, and I don't see any actual light stand. I think it's the C stand. I don't see the pin for that. I'm not entirely sure the name for that, but there's no pin for that, which is kind of sad because I can't use it with my light stand right here. There's probably an adapter for that that goes with this, this clip-on thing right here that goes on the bottom of the light, but I feel like that's just something they should have included in the box. So let's go through the modes for this thing. Now when you turn it on, you have quite a few selections. There's CCT, which is basically the standard mode where you can change the intensity, so from 100% all the way down to 1%. The next setting in that is color temperature. You can change the color temperature all the way from 2600, which is this orange color, and then you can change it all the way to 6500 Kelvin, and it tells you what the color is on the back, which some lights don't do. It just has a dial from like cool to warm, and you just have to guess or use like a camera, and that just adds another step to your workflow. It's really nice being able to see what your color temperature is so you can set it on the camera, and that's just another thing you don't have to worry about. You got another screen called the FX screen. Now that's all these different effects. So just a list of the effects is strobe, pulsing, TV, lightning, faulty bulb, fireworks, paparazzi, fire, strobe, explosion. Oh, I missed explosion. I don't know what I'm doing. And in every single one of these, you can change the color temperature, you can change the brightness. So it's really customizable when it comes to these modes. So the Amaran 25X is what we call a bicolor light. Now this means that you can change the color temperature of the light from cool to warm. Now this is really helpful if you're moving locations, or if there's different lights in the scene, or if there's a window and you want the outside of the window to look a certain color temperature. You can change the color temperature and then change it on your camera. Now Amaran does make the a25x, which is the RGB version of this, meaning that you can change its color to red, green, blue, and you can do all sort of fancy stuff. However, that one's $99, so you are paying maybe $40 more than this. So I probably wouldn't buy that unless your project absolutely needs it, but that is an option if you want it. So going back to the main menu, we also have a boost mode. So if I turn on the light to 100%, you can see just how bright this light is. And then if I go over to boost mode and turn that on, you're getting a bit of extra brightness. I don't know how well you'll be able to see that on camera, but it does add the extra brightness in case you need it. So I've closed my aperture down, so maybe I'll actually be in focus now. Some other things on the menu, you can change the firmware version, which is actually pretty helpful because on this, it doesn't come stock with the latest firmware, so you kind of have to install that. There's also an output mode, which if you turn it on, it turns the light off, which don't be like me and think that the output means that it turns the light on. The output sends voltage through the USB port to some other thing. So if you need to charge your phone, this can work as a phone charger. Now there's also fan settings. Like I said earlier, you can put it on silent or smart. If you put it on silent, it'll dim it even more. So that is technically a little hack right there. If you want it to go to like 0.5% brightness, you can use the silent mode. And then there's also the Bluetooth settings, which allows you to use it with your phone. And then there's custom settings, which I'm not entirely sure what this does. It tells you to do boost or SOS. I'm not entirely sure what that does, as I just said. So yeah, the UI isn't too overly complex. It's pretty easy to find out where everything is, and I've just been using this light for a day. So overall in design, this is a very good light, and in power, this is an even better light, especially for the size. If I put this up against my key light, it's crazy the power that this has. My face is very overexposed, so if you're thinking that this light might be a cheap light that barely does any power, you'd be surprised about how powerful this light is. It's great for the money. And if you're thinking of buying one of the cheaper lights like the Godox, I forgot the name of it, but it's a smaller light. I got that light a while back and I did not like it. It barely emitted any power. But this one right here is a great and powerful light. Now I recommend if you don't have any lights at the moment and you need one, this is a great beginner light with the user interface and all that stuff. So if you want to start a YouTube channel or short films or just anything that requires a camera, this is a great beginner light, and I think that this is a better investment than buying another new camera or new lens, because you can only do so much with a camera if your lighting looks absolutely terrible. By the way, if you're thinking of picking up this light, you might want to check to see if you have any local camera stores before you go online, because you'll be able to actually hold it and use it in person if they have a demo unit, which is actually really helpful. I did that with this light, and it was just really nice being able to see how the light worked and what the power was like. And you might not like a certain thing about this light, but I just recommend seeing if you have any local camera stores that have this light in stock before you go on Amazon and hit order and give Elon Musk even more money. If you'd like to see a comparison between a short film with a cheap camera and a cheap lens and good lighting versus a expensive camera and expensive lens and bad lighting, tell me in the comments below, or just a YouTube video. It doesn't really matter which one I do. Anyways, that's going to wrap up the end of this video. If you've enjoyed it, please consider dropping a like, a subscribe, or a comment down below. Dropping a subscribe isn't really the correct term. I also got this cool Fujifilm hat today. And if you'd like me to review anything else, I might do a A6400 review, which is the camera I'm shooting on right now. And I've also got a few computer reviews coming up, so if you subscribed for the tech reviews, don't worry, I got a few more coming up. And I might also test out some of my older cameras and see if they're actually worth it in this day and age. Anyways, thanks for watching the video. This has been Ryan. I'll see you in the next video.